Fatma's Bookshelf, and you are watching Meeting Makers. This is the fourth episode of Meeting Makers, and today we have our most talented guest, which is Fem, who is a songwriter, a singer, a YouTuber, and she does a lot of things here and there. So, hello, Fem, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you so much. Can you I just want you to introduce yourself to our viewers. So if someone don't know you, how do you introduce yourself to them?
Everyone, I'm a singer-songwriter from Turkey. I'm Fem. I live in Istanbul and I live with my two cats and my mom. And I'm an avid supporter of therapy. If you're ever in a room with me, I'll convince you to go to therapy. I talk about it a lot. So yeah, I think that's mainly it.
So starting with music, because I think music is the most important part of you. So how do you get inspiration of your songs? Is there something specific which always give you inspiration, and how you generally got the inspiration of songs?
Usually what I do, when I go through something, I'm kind of a passive aggressive person. So when something weird happens, when I'm annoyed at someone, I just take my phone and open the notes app and write something down. And then when I'm in the studio, I just make something of it because I don't ever write a song from start to finish on my notes app. I just do it in the studio most of the time.
That's amazing. I think writing songs is very tough job. So my next question will be, going back to your life, where was that time when you thought it is it? This is it. I'm going to write songs, I'm going to compose it, and I'm going to sing.
I think it started in the pandemic because I was studying acting in New York and I had to come back to Turkey to stay with my family during the quarantine. So I already started writing some lyrics when I was in New York, but I was just doing it for fun. But having that much time, I just started writing some songs and singing them, and I was well, this is kind of I enjoy this kind of better than acting, so I think I could do this. And then I think finding a producer, actually releasing my first song, I was okay, this is really good, I love this. So that's how.
That's really beautiful. Pandemic did change all of our lives. For me, pandemic also played an important role because I get to know who I was really, and obviously I traveled a lot. It's weird to say I traveled a lot in pandemic, but I did travel a lot. As a singer and as a writer yourself, there are many emotions which are very hard to write. So for you, which are the emotions you find so hard to write yet so rewarding?
I think weirdly, I love talking about my traumas, so it's kind of, I don't want to say easier, but I'm more used to it. I think writing happy songs is very hard for me because when I'm happy, I don't just think of writing something, I'm just in the moment. But when I'm sad, I'm just yeah, let me get into those emotions, write something. But when I'm happy, I just don't think about it. So I think people love happy songs. I do too, because they're uplifting and stuff, but it's kind of harder for me to write them.
I even saw your, I guess, TikTok bio where you wrote that you like to write sad songs and cry on them. There's something like that in which fascinates me a lot. Oh my god, that's unique.
Yeah, I love writing sad songs to dance to because it's I'm expressing my trauma, I'm having fun, I'm doing it both. So
So are there any themes or goals that you are going to explore in upcoming songs you are going to write?
I think I'll always talk about my traumas, and I think my main goal is kind of empowering women and encouraging them to talk about their experiences. So I think that I'm a little afraid of talking about being a woman. I don't know why, because I don't want to be releasing my third song ever and being like, we're having so much trouble like in this world. I think I have to grow a little bit to be able to like express myself better about those stuff. But I think also I'm starting to write happier, like, yeah, happier songs. But I'll still mainly write sad ones to dance to. So
Okay, so we will wait for the happy songs, you know. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so as we all know, you write sad songs, and sad songs usually connect the listener to their own emotional level, like their own emotional struggles and everything. So how do you hope that your songs impact on the listener?
I think as a listener of music, I love feeling like the artist's going through what I'm going through, and I feel like we all feel a little bit alienated in the society. So I want to make other people feel like, oh, wait, I went through that. I didn't even think somebody else would go through that, but I went through the exact same thing. And that's a great feeling. Like when I listen to a song like that, I'm like, yes, this is now my favorite song. I'll listen to it 24/7. Like I love that. Yeah, that's my main goal, I think.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of women now we're starting to talk about our experiences, but we don't do it a lot, and we never sit and talk about like I went through this. Oh my god, I went through that too. We don't do that very often. We don't talk about our traumas. That's why I'm trying to be like, look, you're normal. I went through the same thing because that's what happened to me in therapy. Like, okay, I'm going through this. I know it's super weird, and my therapist like, a lot of women go through that. I'm like, what? And so that's basically what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
So you want to, everyone, you want everyone to feel okay with what they are going through, which is very amazing. Like, there are a lot of taboos in our country as well, and all over the world actually. But especially for women, people don't do enough for them, and we are still suffering. Not us, but there are a lot of people, a lot of women who are still suffering a lot. So what you are doing is incredible.
Thank you.
So as you stated that you went to New York school, the acting school and everything. So what was the most rewarding thing that you learned there? How was your experience as well?
So it was extremely magical because, like, for a lot of foreign people, I don't want to say foreign, but for a lot of Americans, like, going to a school in New York for acting is not like a huge, insane thing. It's still nice, but not for a person in, like, not same as a person in Turkey because we're like, okay, I'll just try it. And it just happened, and I was so shocked that I got in. And I had so many incredible teachers. Like they were amazing. And I think one thing I've learned, the main thing I think, because I'm a shy person, and I'm especially like on stage, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? So I think I always regretted not going on stage because I was like, okay, that wasn't that scary. Because when a teacher asks like, okay, who's coming up? I'm always like, not me. And every time I didn't go on stage, I was like, I wish I did. I wish I did. And I think the main thing I learned is like, throw yourself out there. You'll fail. You have to fail to be able to like learn it. So yeah.
This is actually a big thing to learn because when personally I was in Turkey, I had a lot of opportunities to do like things. I could have done YouTube, I could have done vlogging, and a foreign living in Turkey, going to school and everything, but I didn't do it because I was so shy. I was having a hard time fitting in there. So learning to give yourself a chance is a big thing. So having a 8 year long journey on YouTube, what is the one moment or one achievement which stand out from all of the other things?
Well, YouTube's like a diary to me now, because like when you're doing it for like a few months or a year, it's like it's something else. But I've been doing it for over 8 years, so I love looking back at what I did before,
Um,
and I think it's not a specific moment, but I usually use YouTube to see how much I grow personally, because it's been over 8 years since I started doing YouTube, and I think like looking back at some of my old videos, I'm like, how did I think that? Like I'm like talking about, there's a video, specific one. I'm like a video for my future child. And I keep talking about like it was in 2015 or something, and I keep talking about like always try to please people, like never make anyone else sad. And I never talk about like making myself happy, like pleasing myself. I'm like, make others happy. And now when I look back at it, I'm like, girl, don't do that. So I think like looking back at your videos is a very like good, like kind of like self-development. It's like, oh my god, like because when you go through stuff, you don't feel, you don't realize how much you grow. But I have like video evidence of me growing, because like I can still look back at my videos and be like, god, whatever. You know.
so it's actually a movie where Femme is evolving in her life. So, which is like
Yeah,
amazing
exactly.
actually. Coming back to the music thing, what advice would you like to give to you new and aspiring songwriters and singers who are just very new to this experience, who are just new to this whole world of music?
Okay. When I started writing, I was feeling so insecure. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna write music, but I can't write it. I don't know how to do it." But that's how you do it. Basically, like take your notes up. You don't have to like. I didn't go to music school. I don't know anything about writing music. Nobody told me like write this, write that, write that. But as you like keep writing, it just you can see how much you grow. As I said, like throw yourself out there. Just keep doing what you love. Write, take your notes app and write something. It doesn't have to be super meaningful. But like I said, I think I love nostalgia, because when I look at my notes app, I see like notes from 2019, and I wrote this super cringy lyric, and I was like, I thought I was good back then. But now I'm just like hopeful for the future too, because it's been 4 years since 2019, I think. So in the next 4 years, I know I'll be better than where I am right now. So I think just do it so that you'll make mistakes and get better at it.
You will evolve eventually, and but you have to take the first step. So
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. We never get a chance to express the most rewarding part of your career. We always this is the human psyche, that we always focus on the negatives. So according to you, what is the most positive side of this career? What?
For me personally, I haven't performed a lot, so I know that my answer will change in the future, and I'll say like performing on stage is incredible, but for now, I feel like I love my producer. He's a really close friend of mine, and I just have so much fun in the studio. And I think for artists, it's like art is like playing games. Like as a child, I feel like I'm feeding my inner child. I'm like, okay, let's do that. Let's write this. Let's make this song. So it's kind of like I'm just having fun. I'm just like, oh, what happens if we add this like drum kit in there and just do it? So, and my producer is like such a playful person, and we just have so much fun in the studio. And like when you finish a song, you don't like, you can't realize if it's good or bad because you've been working on it for hours. So for me, like finishing the song in the studio and being like, okay, we'll get back to this. And then a few hours later, like getting your headphones and listening to the song and being like, did I just make this? It's such a good feeling. It's so satisfying, and I don't think I would be able to be like so satisfied if it wasn't for my producer. But I just have so much fun in the studio. So I think that's like my main thing right now, at least.
So, as you said that you cannot judge a song right after making it, because obviously you have been working on that song for a lot of time, for a long time. Same with paintings and everything. You cannot judge it right away. So, I got a small question, which is like out of this interview, that sometimes you get you hear a new song and you're like, oh my god, this song is amazing. And then after 3 4 plays, and after listening it to repeat on repeat, you get a bit bored. So does that happen to your songs as well? Like, do you get bored with your songs as well? I'm just curious.
Well, the thing is, I don't just listen to my songs that much, the ones I released, but before releasing them, you get kind of bored because you play it for everyone, your friends and stuff. But then there's another thing, like when you release the song, you get excited all over again because you're like, what are people gonna say? So that boredom kind of fades, and then after you release it, I mean, some people do, but I don't just turn my songs on Spotify and be like, oh, I'm listening to my songs. I don't do that very often, so I don't get bored of them. Actually, I love listening to my songs after like a few months of the release, and I'm like, oh, this is good. I love doing that. But yeah, I think I do get bored, but it's not that like.
If you get a chance to collaborate with artist, living or dead, who would you like to choose?
I feel like I have two people. That's why I'm like trying to choose between them. But I think like Kurt Cobain for sure. He was an angel actually. Like he was the only, at least as I know, only feminist man in the rock and roll industry, and he always like supported women, always supported minorities. So I would love to like actually just meeting him would be incredible. And I love listening to songs that mix like two genres because he's like a punk rock and roll like person. So, and I'm like the pop girly. So I think we would make a great song together. So yeah. And Alive, Damien Rice. I love him. And I have a song of him tattooed on my arm here. So yeah,
Oh
I
my
just
god,
adore. It says it takes a lot to know a man. It's a song of his. So
that's amazing. So you are the
yeah.
fangirl of him, and you really want to, collaborate. So my last question will be: can you give us a teaser of your upcoming song or upcoming project, and what is the message behind it? It's you don't really have to, share a lot about it. You just, you can share a bit hints of it. So yeah.
So this one's a bit different from what I usually do. It's kind of like a fun song. I'm not saying happy, but like I'm not there yet. But this is kind of like it's basically about being a spoiled girl in a very judgmental society. Because I've always been made to feel spoiled. I was like irresponsible, spoiled, like she just wants to be a pop star because people are like, okay, just do a proper job and be like, study business or something. And I'm like, I want to be a pop star. So I just made a kind of a funny song about it. And I think right now with my music, I'm just trying everything because I haven't decided like this is what I'm going to do. This genre is my genre. This is what I'm going to write about. So I'm just trying everything to figure out what I want to keep doing. So it's a different one.
All the best, and we are always looking forward to that fun job song. And yeah, that was all the questions which I personally have for you today. And now I have a teeny tiny surprise for you, which is we are going to do a small rapid fire round where I'm going to ask small questions, and which you just have, how this thing works. So here I have all my questions, and we will start with the first one, which is your favorite emotion to write about?
I think it's like despair. It's like hopelessness and despair. I just love it. I know it's super weird. I'm like, I love writing about sad stuff, but I feel like I love digging into my emotions. That's why. Yeah.
Okay, to be very honest, I love listening to helpless songs, like where you cannot, help yourself and cry yourself out and, just have a big breakdown and everything. It's really, fascinates me. I don't know why, it's really weird, but I do that too.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic.
Yeah, it's kind of. So, your go-to instrument for inspiration?
Guitar, I think, because that's the one I'm best at. So it's just easier for me to be like, no, no, no. Oh yeah, that would be great on guitar. Because I always think it in my mind first. I'm like singing the melody, but not the melody, but trying to sing the lyric, and then fit it into guitar, and then write the rest of it. So I think I love like using the guitar because I'm good at it. Not great, but better than every other instrument. So.
Okay. I have been trying guitar for like last 3 years, and I don't even know like two, except for two chords. I don't know anything else. Even I suck at strumming. I just suck at it. Music is not for me. Like creating music is not for me. Okay, so your favorite song to perform live?
I think for my songs, I mean, I perform these songs like twice or three times, not more, but I think I love performing my first song ever, In My Mind, because in that song I'm belting, and so it's kind of like in my songs I usually like whisper and be like all subtle, but when singing In My Mind I'm like, yes, scream it out, girl. So it's really fun.
Amazing. Um, okay, so have you ever had a fan encounter, or if you have, which was your favorite fan encounter?
I did have one a few months ago. This was so shocking because usually like people come up to me and be like, yeah, I've been following you on Instagram or YouTube or something, and it's nice, but the one that just happened a few months ago, I was sitting like in a cafe with four of my friends, and the waiter comes to me and gives me a drink, and I'm like, I didn't order this, and he was like, your listener just sent you this, and I'm like, what? And I was so like embarrassed. I was like so shy. I was like, who? And I didn't even want to look. Like I felt like I was encountering a person that I'm a fan of, because I was like, oh, okay. So I went up to her. I had a chat with her, and she was great. And she told me like, I didn't know if you would like not want me to come to your table to like with your friends, and I'm like, of course you can, but like thinking about it and like being so thoughtful is like something else. That was so nice.
That's super cute actually. And
Yeah, it was.
obviously it was very precious to you. So song that never fails to get your mood good, get you in a good mood.
Oh, that's a really good question. Because, like, when I wake up, I try to wake up really early, and I immediately, like, turn on happy songs. A lot of people can't listen to songs when they just wake up, they just listen to classical. But I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's get the party going, because that's how I wake up. So I have a lot. But right now, I listen to Mika, Good Gone Girl, and the other one's called Matriarchy by Girly. It's a really like
Oh,
punk, aggressive song. I love it.
so your favorite video on YouTube of your obviously which you have created?
Hmm. I don't know. that's a hard one because I've been doing it for such a long time. Like I think like I love doing songs, doing videos about like, for example, I have a video. It's not my ultimate favorite, but I love my video about Tumblr. I made a video a few months ago about Tumblr, like how it affected our culture, and like obviously like you realize that I love nostalgia. I'm like, oh, going back to my old videos, going back to my notes app. So I think like I love doing researches about like Tumblr because it was a huge part of my like 12. I started Tumblr when I was 12 years old. Wow, that's insane. But yeah, those years. So when I go back and do a video about it and like research the trends back then, I love doing that. I love researching for videos. I love like talking about things that I used to do when I was a child. So yeah, that was a fun one. But I don't know which one's my ultimate favorite. So
Okay, like we will count it as your favorite. So, Now, my last rapid fire question will be, which was the most challenging song to make?
I think the one that I'm gonna release probably like in 4 months. I'm not sure, but it's the song that's coming out after the next song. So yeah.
Is it a happy
It's
song?
a song about. No, it's not. You'll wait for my happy song. You'll wait a little more.
Okay, I will. No problem. No, I'm there. I'm here.
Happy song. Yeah. I think I'm gonna release my more happier songs in the spring to make like, because everyone's like, okay, the flowers are blooming, so I'm like, yes, happy songs.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that's what I thought, but I don't know what will happen. But this song, it's gonna be called Monster, and it's a very dramatic one. And even though I love talking about my traumas, some situations are harder than others, and I think writing this one was really hard for me, but also a relief. Now that it's done, I'm like, yes, I'm over it. I know it was bad. I felt really bad about that situation, but right now I'm like, okay, I wrote about it, so it's like out of me. That's weird, but that's what I feel like. I feel like I pulled it out and wrote it in a song and like threw it in the trash, like the trauma.
It's gone forever.
Yeah. You have to listen to know it.
No, we will wait for it. It's just 4 months. It's 4 months actually, but That was it for the video. Thank you so much, fam, for joining us today. It was such a great time to, get your views into our video and everything. Thank you so much. And this is it. Bye bye.